we have a lot of topics that actually surround parenting and students. And one of the things I just want to throw out there is Title IX, as well as the criminal justice process, can be complicated. It can be intimidating. And most people don't know it well, and for good reason, right? They've never had to deal with it before. And that is one of the real values I think that our agency advocates gives to the community. You don't have to know it. What the big thing is you can reach out to us.
What is Title IX anyway?
You know, Title IX is really somebody's right to an education. It's based on discrimination against sex, but sexual assault and sexual harassment have been brought under that umbrella of discrimination as to sex and not getting the equal education because of that. And I think one of the big things to remember for any parent is if your child is sexually assaulted off of school campus, that is still can be a Title IX issue for the school if both students go to that school, because it's all about the education that the victim is or is not receiving. And so when something happens off school grounds, people can still contact our office so we can help them get through that Title IX investigation or help them start a Title IX investigation with the school to make sure that your child is getting the best safety plans in place, right? For a victim to have to sit in class with their abuser and try to continue to do the schoolwork is kind of insane. And so making sure that there are certain precautions put in place to help student victims in that way. And like I said, same thing with the criminal justice system. We can help people navigate that process, know who to talk to. We do not pressure anybody to report. That is a victim's own decision. And I do think a parent would have a lot of say in that as well. But we can tell both parent and student what to expect, what it looks like, and answer any questions they may have.
Yeah, that's great. Mark, if you want to throw up that graphic, just a couple more details about Title IX that parents may want to know. Originally, Title IX was put in place when women's sports teams were not getting the access to the same resources that men's sports teams were in college. So that's what a lot of people think Title IX applies to exclusively, is collegiate sports. However, especially under the last presidential administration, they very clearly defined Title IX, as you said, Liesl, as a way to make sure that everyone gets access to a quality education, especially if they are receiving federal funds. And they made explicit reference to sexual misconduct. So the Obama administration actually went to the next level with a letter to everyone who receives federal funding, and they said, look, if you don't have preventative measures for sexual violence and you don't have responsive measures to sexual violence, your federal funding is at risk. That's how seriously they took sexual violence, and they saw how Title IX applies to it in a way that absolutely speaks to the quality of education that somebody can get if they're facing misconduct or sexual violence. And should the worst happen, if they're victimized, it's making sure that they can find some justice as well.